Lord, yes, I. Duty again, you know? Heard.
No, Fire, we here again. And do remember November 26th, new EP from the Warrior there, Autarchii. Disturbing the status quo, available on
Disrupting the
all
status quo.
apologize,
That's right.
disrupting the status quo, available on all platforms. Also, look out new things coming from Conscious T. I want to say I truly appreciate all the support we've been getting there at Conscious T. I really appreciate it. We give thanks for people wearing their apparel and representing when you step out the house, right? Fire, what are we talking about today?
Entertaining yourself to death. Because this seems like a real life thing will occur right now amongst every age group right now, especially those who classify themselves as adults. We find that them do have progressive things to do for the most part, but rather entertainment is the number one topic or the number one theme in their life, and that is really disturbing if you think about it. It sounds good on the outside, but when you really break it down, it's really a disturbing topic, you know?
All right, Fire. I just want to clarify and say some people need a form of entertainment in a healthy time span because some people got a lot going on in their life and they just need time to get away. But what's happening is that we have surpassed healthy entertainment and it's full blown like escapism and addiction, and it has dire consequences. First thing, I know we spoke about social media in the past on here, and we will get to that in regular media consumption. I want to talk about sports, right? Uh, People watch too much sports. I don't know what else to say about it, right? I know in our culture or the male culture is sports. When you go talk to people, find people get a vibe with me because I don't know what's going on, so I can't converse. Nor do I want to converse with you about what the next man's doing in regards to sports, which is really entertainment at the end of the day. That's clear, right? But observing sports, what I've noticed is that I'll just use basketball as an example. The average person will watch the pregame, which is about half hour to an hour, right? The game itself will be about 2.5 hours or 3 hours. They'll watch the post game, then they'll watch the replay the next day. So that's about 6 hours of the same talking about the same topic and blah 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 blah, right? Only thing I'm saying is this: compounded by the duration of time you do it, bro. That's a lot of hours. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of hours, and I'm not saying that a person shouldn't watch sports, but your relationship with sports is unhealthy. And what always cracks me up is when people start speaking French when it comes to sports. It's a lot of we and us, like they have a some type of membership in the association or some
Like
type
them
of
have
fight.
shares in the company.
Fight is the I know they don't want to hear a fight, but that's the wickedest thing to me. I always it make me sit back because a lot of we and us, what we doing this weekend, what we did and what trade we made. So I was like, all right, fight. But real talk, as male and female, but people, first thing you could do is ease down on the sports, right? As a nation, I think we're about at 7 hours on average. We're about 7 hours of entertainment per day. I think when you multiply it, damn near come out to a month of 24 hours. Basically, you spent the whole month, 24 hours a day watching entertainment every year. You have the social media, we have the video games. People play too much. I know that's the next thing they don't want to hear, but fight, they play too much video games, right? I don't see any reason for no grown man playing video games all day. I just don't. There's so much things that need to be done. There's so much things that you could be doing instead of sitting around playing video games.
You know, say,
Go ahead.
Continue.
No. Yeah, the video games. The next habit I've been preying to is the Netflix every night. All right. All these things contribute to your downfall and your mediocrity because remember, the wickedest thing without staying up at night entertaining yourself is one, the message is depending on what you're watching, the message that you get. So it is a form of indoctrination, which is a whole different topic. If you're not getting no sleep, average person, a walk-in zombie, thing not functioning properly, you sleeping 4 or 3 hours at night. How you gonna sleep 4 hours at night? You gonna sleep 3 hours a night consistently and expect to work properly? Why are we giving ourselves so much time to produce the material? Don't you understand it's not real fire? It's just a group of people trying to sell a product to you. Entertainment. And people quick to say they don't have time for nothing else, but they have time to be on that phone all day, fire. They got time to be on the TV all day. Know the most pointless information. Because I told you before, everyone's an expert, but we're experts in the wrong thing. You got to change your expertise fire to progress out here.
Like
That's the key.
The climax quickly because they reach climax, the climax stage quick because that is the thing. That is the whole point. See, if they attack something earlier and you never get it, that is the summary of everything. Because watch this now. All of these activities listed before, I was again, it's not that you can do any of these, but you're doing all of these in one day. And you're doing all of these every day. So if you watch a movie every day, you watch sports every day, remember you still go for party, So when we talk about the offline entertainment, cause these are just online entertainment just far, because sports is something where you watch on the TV. But imagine doing all of these things every day. See, when do you find time to build yourself economically, build yourself mentally, so you can have a stable mindset where you can function and think about the direction where you're supposed to go in a life? When?
Fire, let me cut you 2 seconds. Before we get to economics, fire, one got to deal with. See, a person have to deal with themselves,
mentally.
And really kind of get yourself in order. Whether you're a person that could self-reflect and work on yourself, or a person have to go to therapy. But fire is so much going on and so much trauma and so much mix-up. People really have to work on themselves. And I know they use the entertainment for escape, so they have to deal with themselves. What I'm saying is to stop doing that and start dealing with yourself.
Because you talk about sports, and I want to tell you enough for you, right off the top, what did I say? I know say it's going to be one of these controversial things because it's not a popular opinion or a popular statement. People hate to hear these things. It is what it is. Them hate to hear, oh, you're watching too much TV, you're playing too much video game, because these are things that they do. So if they indulge in activities on a daily basis and somebody come and rebuke these activities or actually tell them, say this activity is not healthy, them start go on tell them something wrong. But really, in truth and in fact, we know that these things contribute to the detriment of your well-being. And one thing for sure is that we overstand for the past couple of years is that sports in particular is the new gladiator ring. But we don't look at it like that, because remember when you think about it, majority of these players are in contracts wrapped up like they're just literally some slaves moving from team to team. And these teams are major corporations. So when you identify yourself and mention it as we, when these teams are benefiting on a week-to-week basis, how are you benefiting personally in yourself? Because, all right, you might use that example. If you think about even a team like Arsenal, because we know about sports, but we just don't spend with time and sit down and watch it straight, because we have other things to do. We're more productive towards our well-being. But if you think about even a team like Arsenal, a lot of people can relate when you think about football or soccer, whoever want to call it. This team, because we use them as a prime example, because anybody in sports or will watch football know that these people are some of the most loyal supporters, right? Week in, week out, them complaints that the team not working, they're not buying any players or whatever. They're losing, they're not in the top 4, all of this. You stress over this, you have heated conversations, you curse over this, you curse the company, you curse all of these things, and yet still next week you go again and say them rise the blood pressure. This is one major statement anybody who watch soccer every week or football every week say, oh, the team rise with blood pressure. I can't believe them never make the right decisions. But who did they not make the right decisions for? Was it you or for themselves? Because according to my overstanding, these teams are profiting year over year. Their revenue is increasing year over year. Their ticket prices are increasing on a quarterly basis. Their profits are increasing. If you think about even gross profit, or you think about the net income that they're earning, all of these advertisement slots that they're putting in are allowing their products to be sold more. But who is not benefiting? Because this team is not winning, but they're increasing profits. Do you think that their whole aim is necessarily just win that league, or to just increase profit and be comfortable? And who is the person supporting them all of this time? So you see the people, them don't understand the dynamics, because when it comes to sport, it's like it's the same relationship between the politician and the average person, but them not see it from that perspective. Because when you think about these things, you know what you do? When you think about these things from your micro level, is that you neglect the reality aspect of it and look upon it from an idealistic standpoint. And because you want to see a particular outcome within these sports, it just sway your mind to a particular direction, and then you can't overstand anything where it take place. So that is the way sports mess up your brain, and that's just one aspect of entertainment. Because Melissa tries to mention that because I know the majority of the man them spend most of them time in that lane in particular. You see what I say?
I just want to add that all right, in regards to cities sports in America, a lot of these arenas are not purchased by the corporation, right? They're actually purchased with tax dollars. They always have some incentive, like they're gonna hire people. It never works out, but it's super very predatory to a certain extent, right? Another aspect you just brought up, which is very, very important in regards to, do sports teams actually care about winning? Let's use Madison Square Garden, for instance, where the Knicks play, right? Fire, whether they win or lose, because they've this man laughing, but not seriously. They had like a decade where they were losing, but the Garden was always packed because they just created that culture of where like this is the place to be, front court, celebrity vibe. So they killing the revenue regardless, whether they win or lose. You get what I'm saying? Even Lakers, when Lakers had their down spot, they just created this culture of like this is the place to be. Out of vanity, you want to be there, you want to take your pictures there, you want to be seen there. So it's that type of energy. So it's like a lot of these sports teams and organizations, obviously by the decisions they make, obviously don't care about winning, but the fan itself is so invested in it. And it's just like, the apparel at your house, buying the jerseys, everything's this and that. And it's like, I'm not saying again you shouldn't watch sports, but I think you should put more energy in things that are beneficial to you, your health, your mental health, your family, to be more of an adult. Because it's almost like children in a sense. Some of these grown men, the whole Sunday is just about the sports team, and it's just escapism. Your week sucks. You have a job that sucks. Probably not pleased with your family life, and I just want to escape into this fantasy and live through another person as I'm some form of warrior, because I played college sports, right? And I always really hated watching sports in public, because here I have a person who can't walk up the steps without getting out of breath, yelling at a a professional athlete about what they should be doing. You get what I'm saying? Or talking crazy at a TV, which you would never say if that person was there, because you can't defend yourself. You're like 5'3" and 200 pounds. So it's like it's a weird relationship, and it's like almost like it's really, you're trying to live through the athlete. You're trying to have warrior weekend. You're trying to, instead of actually going and fighting for yourself, fending for yourself, chasing a goal, like trying to achieve something, which would take the same effort as being an athlete, dealing with the ups and downs, being persistent, working on your craft, growing at your craft. You don't do any of that. You live the dream through another player, and it's kind of sad. And it's like you're emasculated as a man when you're the super fan, and also like, even from a health standpoint, like you're not fit, you're not in shape. It's not like you're taking care of your body. So all these things we have to factor in regards to this whole sports vibe. And I'm not sure if he had something else to say on sports, but I wanted to move forward. You have something? Go ahead.
No, I say it's as what they say is like them I live them dream through the whole watching a sport. Because when we really think about how the people in behave, it just shows that them actually can focus. Last part of my want to say that them actually can focus enough on something where now add value towards them life. Like if you say, oh, granular, them focus on it, like, oh, the defender. I remember in a sports is a tactical thing, so there's an upside to it because it's a tactical thing. Like you think about decision making, you think about unity, which is the team coming together. You think about everybody playing them role to make sure a midfielder have to play a role with the defender and the striker to make sure the outcome is that we can win the match, which is society supposedly a function, Think about winning a match. Everybody's supposed to have them role, and when you get tired now, you come off as a substitute, and then the substitute coming on add that value to the team. So you see, the way out this thing, them not taking any valuable lessons from this particular team, and that is the most absurd part of it. Because imagine you looking at the strategy or tactics that is carried out on a weekly basis by an organization, but yet still there's nothing from this organization that you mimic and add towards your life, so you can have a structure and have particular roles played within your life for benefit you towards winning. So that's the real sad part about it. So them don't take the good piece where them should be getting from it.
I want to move forward. I don't want to really deal with no social media again because people should know the dangers of social media at this point, right? Or if they don't, they may want to look it up. But this combination of entertainment that we do on a daily basis, video games, social media, streaming movies, regular cable TV. People say they find some of their bills out of hand because remember they got the whole cable package with everything. Then they got all the streaming things, and it's like, how much stuff do you watch? How much stuff can you watch? And how much stuff should you be watching? You know, and it just becomes a terrible habit. Go to work, do the bare minimum, come home, eat and watch TV. You know, and it's not to chastise anyone, but if you reflect, if you're comfortable with that and you feel that you're growing, continue to do so. But if you're not, you definitely have to change your habit and fit in room for something productive, you know, and just like you're consistent at watching other people do stuff, you can be consistent at working on yourself. It'll be a little difficult when you first start, but it'll benefit you enough. Because it's all about consistency and routine, right? People want to talk about all this, use all these scientific terms, and the fight is pretty about whatever you're consistent in, that's what you will grow with. Whenever I talk to teenagers, I always use this video game thing. Some of these people are beyond masters of video games. Why? They play the shit all day. That's all they do. That's where they've put all their time and effort into figuring out how to play this game. So let's flip it. Let's put that same time and effort in things that are beneficial to us. That dream that you had that you threw on the side, or the other thing that you started that you stopped. Put your time into those things because you have the time. Some people don't have the time though. Like there are a few people where you just don't have no time, but we're talking about people who have the time doing other stuff.
You can make the time, you know, because it's always about priority, you know. Because you see, if it's where you really want to focus on, and I'm find most times say majority of people like to find time for leisure activities as opposed to progressive activities where you can develop them craft. Because one thing is that I feel like fear take over most people's life when it comes to like going out there for find new methods or to improve themselves. And that is one reason why them just get stuck in this form of entertainment. Because if me continue to entertain myself to death, there's one thing where me know for sure. I'm not going to even go out on the limb for find out what was there. I'm staying in this comfort zone. And staying in this comfort zone allow me to be happy.
Well, fight is another thing I observed over the years. You see, remember, especially, well, not with a movie, but like with news and stuff, a lot of stuff they do is news carrying, right? Judgment. And when they talk about people, I notice this, especially people who talk about people all the time, they're very terrified to do anything because they're projecting their judgment that they put on everyone on them. And they think that, you know, when they try something, everyone's going to criticize it because that's what they do. And it's like, along with the fear, you have to remove yourself from these circles where you just talk about people all day, bro. You can't be sitting around talking about others all day, focus on what others doing. I notice those who do it, like borderline do nothing.
Well, let me hear